Have you ever felt a strange heaviness in your body the moment you wake up, a weight that is not physical, but sits somewhere deep inside your soul? As if something within you is quietly whispering, lie down, stay still, don't move, not yet. Have you noticed how some days, no matter how much you want to get up or be productive, your entire inner world seems to pull you back into silence, into stillness, into the comfort of doing nothing at all? Psychologists call it fatigue. Doctors call it low energy, but Carl Jung believes something much deeper, something most people never dare to explore. According to Jung, when your soul is exhausted, it's not your body that shuts down, it's your entire unconscious mind sending you signals, signs, warnings, messages that something inside you is breaking, stretching, or preparing for transformation. And when you ignore these signals, the body responds in the only language it knows, urging you to rest, to stop, to withdraw from the world for a moment and listen. And today you are about to discover exactly why you feel this desire to lie down all day. Why the world suddenly feels too heavy, why your dreams seem distant, why even simple tasks feel impossible, and why your soul is asking for something you have not yet understood. Jung believed that every feeling of stillness, every moment when you cannot move, every silent collapse, every emotional shutdown is not a weakness, it's an emotional earthquake beneath the surface, a shift that means something inside you is trying to rise. You are not lazy, you are not unmotivated, you are not broken, you are simply standing at the doorway of a psychological transformation. Your unconscious mind knows this transformation is coming long before your conscious mind does. This is why the symptoms show up first in how you feel before they appear in how you act. Jung discovered that when the mind is overloaded with suppressed emotions, unresolved conflicts, unexpressed desires, or unhealed wounds, the soul sends physical signals to force you into rest, because rest is the only place where truth can rise. When you feel the urge to lie down all day, it's often your shadow trying to speak to you. The shadow is the hidden part of your personality, the part you push away, ignore, fear, or deny. Maybe you have been pretending to be okay for too long. Maybe you have been strong for too long. Maybe you have been carrying responsibilities, emotions, and expectations that were never meant to be carried alone. When the soul is overwhelmed, it collapses into stillness. Your desire to lie down is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign that you are exhausted from pretending. Jung once said, what you resist not only persists, but grows in size. And when you resist your own emotional truth, the soul becomes louder, more demanding, more persistent, until eventually it shuts down your energy completely. Imagine your soul like a river. When emotions flow, the water moves freely, but when emotions are blocked, the river becomes heavy, still, dull, and the pressure underneath increases until the river can no longer move. That is the heaviness you feel, the invisible weight, the internal pressure, the emotional build-up. And your soul knows that movement before healing is dangerous. It will force you to pause, so you don't break, but so you transform. Jung believed that every collapse is preparation. The soul withdraws before it rises, it shuts down before it awakens, it forces stillness before it reveals a hidden truth. And this is where you are right now. So why does your soul fight your ability to get up? Because something inside you is being rebuilt piece by piece, your identity, your beliefs, your boundaries, your emotional landscape. Maybe you have outgrown a part of your life, but you haven't let go yet. Maybe you are still holding on to relationships that drained you, dreams that no longer belong to you, responsibilities that suffocate you, or expectations that were never yours in the first place. Jung believed humans enter a state of deep inner fatigue when the psyche senses misalignment in your life, meaning your inner world and outer world are no longer matching who you have become. In your soul becomes tired of pretending, tired of living a role, tired of following a path that no longer feels like home. And until you realign, until something inside you becomes honest, the soul will keep demanding rest. The desire to lie down is also a form of withdrawal. Jung said that whenever a person enters a major psychological transition, they retreat mentally, emotionally, and sometimes physically. This withdrawal is the psyche trying to conserve energy to process deeper truths. Your mind cannot evolve while it is fighting the world outside. Healing requires silence, transformation requires stillness, clarity requires distance. When your soul forces you to rest, it is preparing you for a rebirth, a shift, an awakening, a new path. And here is the most powerful part. Jung discovered that people who experience this deep internal heaviness are often standing on the edge of a breakthrough. They are shedding an old identity, letting go of emotional burdens, preparing to step into a higher psychological maturity. But before a breakthrough, there is always a breakdown, not the dramatic kind, but the quiet kind, the kind where you don't cry or scream. You simply stop, you lose energy, you lose motivation, you lose desire, you retreat. Your psyche is redirecting its energy inward because it needs to rebuild the foundation of who you are becoming. This is why your bed feels safer than the world. This is why silence feels healing. This is why movement feels draining, because every ounce of your energy is being used internally to process something big, something you cannot see. Yet Jung believed that your psyche never works against you. It only protects you, guides you, or pushes you toward your next stage of growth, even when it feels uncomfortable, even when it feels painful, even when it feels like everything inside you has stopped growing. You are not stuck. You are transforming slowly, quietly, internally. Imagine a snake before it sheds its skin. During that phase, it hides, it becomes still, it loses energy, it withdraws from everything and everyone, not because it is weak, but because transformation requires safety, stillness, and surrender. You are in the same phase right now, but humans misinterpret this stage as failure or laziness, when in truth, it is renewal. Jung believed that when the soul is preparing for rebirth, the body feels heavier, the mind feels slower, the heart feels tired, because you are letting go of emotional weights you don't even realize you have been carrying. And once those weights dissolve, energy returns, motivation returns, clarity returns, and the desire to rise comes back naturally, not forced, not pushed, but gently, as if your soul is whispering, "Now you can get up." This is why people who push themselves when their psyche is asking for rest end up making everything worse. They burn out emotionally and mentally because they are fighting their own transformation instead of allowing it. Your soul is not asking you to quit your life, it is asking you to pause long enough to understand it, asking you to rest long enough to heal it, asking you to lie down long enough to listen to the messages rising from the deepest layers of your unconscious. Everything you are feeling has a purpose. Every slowdown, every moment of heaviness, every sigh, every silent collapse, everything has meaning. Jung believed that when life becomes silent, the soul becomes loud, and you are entering that sacred silence right now. So instead of judging yourself, instead of forcing yourself, instead of shaming yourself, ask your soul, what are you trying to tell me? What am I supposed to understand? What needs to be released? What needs to change? The moment you ask these questions, the heaviness will slowly begin to make sense. The desire to lie down will stop feeling like defeat and start feeling like a doorway to something new, something necessary, something destined. Your soul is not tired without reason. It is tired because it is protecting you, guiding you, preparing you for the next chapter, a chapter where you live more honestly, more freely, more aligned with who you truly are. And one day, soon, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next week, but soon you will wake up and feel a sudden lightness, a shift in inner clarity. And you will know that your soul has finished speaking and is ready for you to rise again. Until then, rest, listen. Allow your inner world to rebuild itself, because the version of you that will rise from this stillness will be stronger, clearer, and more awakened than ever before.